as a player to a commentator?
Well, firstly, namaste, Keso. It's great to be back in my my second country. The adjustments, look, it's obviously different going from being a player than going up in the commentary box and working on the game. But the thing is, we're very lucky that we all have played, the game and now get to talk about the game, which we love. So it's so humbling as a former player to get out there and, as AB said, to watch other players and see what they do, the mistakes that they make and how they can fix the game. But for us, it's a lot of fun. We're sitting with mates that we've played against, mates that we've played with, and it's still like you actually get the feeling like you're still there playing, but we're not warming up and we're not doing the stretches. If he's Mr. 360, which he is, I think I might call myself Mr. 160. Not with my batting, of course.
Absolutely. But tell me, what is it about the IPL that clicks so well? And what is the impact that you have seen, both as a player and now, from outside the boundary line, that this league has made in world cricket?
Look, I think what the Indian Premier League has done, it's actually brought a lot of different cultures a lot closer together. And my first, couple of years, my first 3 years, I think it was playing for Kings 11, the Punjab Kings back then. And seeing how different guys prepare. Like you got guys from South Africa, obviously players from India, from all over the world, and just the different preparations that they go through. And I think it's brought the cricket nations a lot closer together. It doesn't mean that we don't, when you get the chance to play against them on a national scale, that camaraderie's still there, that passion, that aggression's still there, but it just transcends and actually finds a way to take that angst out of the game. And that's what the Indian Premier League has done. It just gets better and better and better. I always joke around and say that the hardest part about playing in the Indian Premier League wasn't necessarily the training and the bowling, it was the after parties and trying to recover from that. So that was a lot of fun. It's changed though.
Spoken like a true player.
It's changed.
I think a few cricketers have said so. But Aakash, speaking of the IPL and its success, I do want to broaden this to the format itself. We've had a lot of conversations and Brett and AB can weigh in on this as well, along with Anjum. There's been a sense that the T20 format in itself is a bit threatening to other formats, particularly the classical format of Test cricket. Do you sense that there is a concern? I mean, the BCCI recently incentivized monetarily for players to play more Test cricket. What does that tell you? And is there a concern?
Good afternoon, everyone. And actually, these two guys, for everybody's consumption, their Aadhaar card is already made, and we are linking it with their bank accounts as well. So that they're as Indians can be. But when you talk about the T20 cricket threatening, I think there is a possibility of everyone to coexist. This was the threat way back in 2008 as well, when the tournament was first launched. I was one of those skeptics that it may actually eat into Test cricket too much. Nobody would want to play Test cricket and all of that because I was still that old school and couldn't play like AB, of course. Not many of us could. But it has still coexisted. Let's be fair. On Jio Cinema and Sports 18, we were covering the Test series that just got concluded. It was India versus England. Absolute top draw where contests were very keenly contested. Two quality teams going at each other. There is a lot of charm there. Yes, it is under a bit of pressure, but pressure is good. All cricketers will tell you that we need to thrive under pressure. If you buckle and you disappear, I mean, bad luck. But Test cricket has survived 150 odd years. So there must have been a few other existential crises that may have come up earlier, but it has survived. BCCI is doing its bit. It's not just, they've added actually 45 lakh rupees, up to 45 lakh rupees per game, in addition to the 15 lakh that you get. So it's about nearly, what, 80,000 US dollars for a game of cricket, which is phenomenal. See, India will continue to do its bit. Australia is, again, very keen to play Test cricket. South Africa is facing their own set of challenges, and we don't mean to look down upon anyone because all of us are very different. We have our own challenges. But I do feel when you talk about Test cricket, like we are doing at the IPL, and you will see it on Jio Cinema throughout, we celebrate this festival of cricket for the next 2 years. But we take Test cricket equally seriously. And that's how we did for the last 5 weeks when England were here. And it will thrive only if the three big boys at this point in time, India, England, and Australia, sorry, AB, they keep investing in it, and they keep actually funding the T20 money should start funding Test cricket. At some stage, it will happen. It is already now visible in Indian cricket when you talk about those $80,000 per game. So that might just be the road ahead, because anybody who's played the game, anybody worth its salt will tell you that Test cricket is actually the pinnacle
test
of your skill set, or skill set being challenged. So I'm sure it'll stay maybe in a slightly different form and shape, but it'll be there.
Anjum, lots of responsibility on respective boards to do their bit, because as we all accept, there is a bit of threat, and we need to do a little bit more. Do you sense that all boards will put their thinking caps on and put their hands together?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. If I didn't say it, then I would have been singled out. So I rather say good afternoon to everyone. So I think, look, for the women cricketers, it's welcoming sign if we can continue to play Test cricket. And since India has won, the good part is that India beat Australia and England at home. So the fillip of hosting more Test matches has come about. We will be hosting South Africa in a couple of months down, just after the IPL. So that's important. But I do feel that Test cricket cannot die. So it's like what Aakash said. When T20 came in, no one will play Test cricket. But it's like a wheel, like this Rising India wheel that we're all a part of at this point of time. It will come around. And I think it's obviously the English cricket board, Australian, Indian, South African, New Zealand, all these cricket boards will need to do their bit. They will all come around. It's all about investing at the right time, at the right place.
But AB, certainly the modern cricketer, do you sense faces a different dilemma when it comes to choosing their career path, which is why we're having to incentivize a little bit for them? I mean, different choices that they have to make vis-a-vis what you had to make in your days?
Yeah, I'm quite thankful I never had to make the decision. I was always motivated just to play for my country, and whatever comes after that is a bonus, If there are any other leagues, which happened during my career. For youngsters these days, it's really not an easy decision, but it should be made easy for them, and that's where I'm coming from. I feel cricket is like music, and Test cricket is like classical music. It almost becomes part of you. It's an art, where T20 is probably more like rock music. It's more entertaining and exciting, but there's room for all genres to exist within music. But it comes from the administrators, the boards, and they really need to take these decisions out of their hands, or at least make it easy for them and say, you know what, it can be entertaining, it can be good for you to go and commit for Test cricket. If you want to play T20s, no problem, there's your route. So I think that's the way forward.
Brett, what would you tell modern day cricketer today when it comes to these dilemmas?
Well, firstly, have fun. That's the reason why we play cricket. And I'm with AB. I started playing cricket